Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. How do you take a step back in your business when you need to? There are so many reasons you might need to take a little step back for a minute in your business, but how can you do that and not risk having no income or that all the hard work that you put into your business will go to waste? Yeah. This is something I've been learning firsthand after getting COVID back in January. Thankfully, as an Enneagram 6 who is all about looking at every potential eventuality and being prepared for it, I was covered because I think about these things a lot. But there are many people who aren't quite so lucky. But you can start to implement some changes right now that will really, really put your mind at ease if anything were to happen. So back in January, literally as I was about to go into the launch of the Positive Pants Toolkit, I caught COVID. I felt dreadful. I mean, it was a really bad cold. That's what I thought it was at first, was just a bad cold. And it just felt worse because I hadn't had so much as a sniffle in over 2 years, right? But then those pesky two little lines showed up on my lateral flow. I was very, very lucky that I only tested positive for the 5 days. And obviously, so many people have had it so worse. It feels like it's one of those things where you don't know if it's going to hit you like a mosquito bite or a sledgehammer. It's a horribly unpredictable little thing. But I was very lucky that I only tested for the 5 days, but it really knocked me for 6 because it quickly turned into labyrinthitis. And labyrinthitis, if you haven't heard of it, is a cross between vertigo and tinnitus. Fun times. Basically, your brain feels like cotton wool, your ears are ringing all the time, and you can get very dizzy or feel off balance, which can also make you feel sick. Kind of like a motion sickness all the time. And since then, it's become very, very clear that I have long COVID. All the fun times. Not complaining, could have been a huge amount worse, but this is an important conversation to have, right? Because this is happening to a lot of people, like all over the globe. But if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know that one of the biggest things that I do is always checking in with myself and my body and asking what I need and doing my best to give it to myself. That can be tricky when your body has been screaming rest and sleep for 2 months when you're trying to run a business. So I've been basically doing the bare minimum for pretty much the whole of 2022 so far. So in order to do what I need to do to recover. And there are so many people in this situation, right? With invisible illnesses, chronic illnesses, fatigue, all of these things, right? So doing what I needed to do to recover, which has been rest, relaxation, naps, a slower pace, spending time doing gentle exercise, trying to get back my energy levels, but going with my energy, like when I actually have it and not beating myself up for the inevitable crash when I don't. And it has kind of felt like 1 step forward, 2 steps back a lot of the time. But there are so many other reasons that you might want or need to take a step back sometimes, like maternity or other illnesses or burnout or the state of the world, just becomes too much. Family circumstances, grief, all sorts. The reality is that things are different when you're running a business to if you have a job, with things like that, with paid leave, be it sickness, maternity, or compassionate. which I don't think is a bad thing at all when you weigh it up with the flexibility and freedom and ability to create a life and live a life like on your terms in return. So how have I been managing to do the bare minimum for this long? And what did I have in place to make it easier and possible for me to do so? So the biggest answer to this is simple. And I've worked really hard to create recurring revenue streams in my business. I have been able to do the bare minimum, which amounts to probably all in all, maybe a day or two per week, and still have money coming in. So I have 4 to 5 recurring revenue streams at the moment. I have payment plans from one-to-one clients. I have payment plans for the mentorship program that I run with the amazing Dawny Baxter and Abby Hugo. I have my membership, the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community, and I have a gratitude journal and notebook on Kindle Direct Publishing too. So the good news is, and if you've been following me for a while, you know my friend Lisa Johnson runs a notorious annual Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge, and that is back on the 21st to 24th of March. So it's really good timing that this has all come up, so you can learn how to do this too. Like, I'm super excited to be partnering with her again. And over the 4 days, she's going to help you figure out what types of recurring revenue streams are actually best for you. Because there's a few, right? There's subscription boxes, there's payment plans, there's courses, memberships, drop shipping. There's so many different ways to create more recurring revenue streams, yeah? So she's going to teach you the 5-step system that she uses with all of her clients to help them add recurring revenue to their business. And it's how I learned as well. And in terms of clients, there's been over 3,000 of them now. She's going to let you know the biggest mistakes that people tend to make when it comes to adding recurring revenue, so you don't have to make them. Bonus! And what you might already actually have, either created or in your noggin, that could make you recurring revenue right now. So it's not to be missed, okay? So you can join through my partner link, which is bit.ly/Fran Recurring. So that's bit.ly/Fran Recurring, but it's also on Instagram and all of those things. Now, I'm going to get back to all the other ways that I've kind of been implementing things to make sure that I have this freedom in my business. But full transparency, I don't love a challenge. I know a lot of you guys don't too. I've sat in on many of them at the beginning of my journey, and it felt like they were all mouth and no trousers. Am I right? And it drove me bonkers. Bananas! And I'd always leave kind of feeling like I'd completely wasted my time. Now, I've done this challenge several times now, and it isn't like that. Like, she actually gives real value, and the energy and support is off the scale. So you can actually do things and start to put them in place while you're on the challenge. And I think there's about 5,000 people that have joined now. Over 2,500 people joined on the first day. Tons of people redo this every time it comes around every year. And it's not even on until the 21st of March. So all you need is around a maximum of an hour per day to watch the live and do the exercise for 4 days. That's it. There are other things that you can do outside of recurring revenue. Okay. But the reason I want to talk about this is because genuinely it is what I feel has saved my bacon while my health has been struggling over the last couple of months, right? It is a really important conversation to have. But there are some other things that you can do, like scheduling the break in advance. Yeah, batching content so you can still maintain your presence online. It just doesn't have to be you there doing it, right? You can figure out what your bare minimum actually looks like in terms of client work, content, etc., and see how you might be able to cover that in advance. So even if it may take you a couple of days to sort some things out, what can you have in the bank that you know is going to make sure that you still maintain a presence while you can actually take a break, right? Another thing you can do is making sure that you have help in your business. That could be a VA, for example, or it could be an assistant, or it could be, what are they called? The government's been doing an apprentice. It could be something like that. All sorts of different things. It might be asking a member of your community or another business owner to do a takeover in your groups or communities. Making sure that you have an out of office with a clear way to contact you only in emergencies, or even just have your VA contact details and then they decide if it's an emergency and requires you to be contacted, right? Having a VA manage your inbox can be a game changer for calming the nervous system in order to let you to take a little bit of a step back. Yeah, so we've got to calm that nervous system about taking that time off, so you don't feel like you're going to miss opportunities and all your hard work is going to be out the window. There are so many ways that we can do this, okay? And the next one is automating what you can. I have the glorious Kerry Morse. She does all sorts of things for me in my business and all sorts of things that are automated. And my amazing VA, Danica, who have just set up so many things. And it's really, really been a breath of fresh air, because I have felt like I can only do that. I can do the bare minimum, and I can go to the spa, and I can relax, and I can sit in the hot tub. All of these very, very privileged things that I get to do. But I get to do them because I thought about it in advance, right? So if you're thinking right now, like, oh my goodness, I need to take a little step back for a minute, I am feeling it, make sure you listen to last week's episode if you're feeling like that, because there's tons of things that you can do to support the mindset element of this piece. This is kind of like, let's get down to the practical and seeing like how we can practically make sure that it is a possibility for us to take a decent chunk of time off, or how we can do the bare minimum, how we can take a step back when our mental, physical, any kind of health requires it. Yeah. So thinking about how you can plan for less time in the business and still maintain your presence. Yes, it might have a short-term effect on your engagement and things like that, but what is more important in the moment? The whole globe has been going through so much, and it's not stopping yet. Yeah. And I'm sure there are lots of other ways outside of the things that I've told you, but these are the things that I've been doing whilst showing up hasn't been quite so easy for me. And yes, I completely acknowledge that I'm in a very, very privileged position to have been able to set that up. But I just want you to get your cogs ticking and thinking about like, what do I need to have in place to make sure that if something happens, or even if I just feel like I need some time off, that I can do that. Because in all honesty, the biggest thing that I'm grateful for has absolutely been that I have set up a business model that has multiple streams of revenue and recurring revenue. So do hop into the challenge, because you have absolutely nothing to lose. Yeah, you might come up with a genius idea that really lights a fire in your belly. Doing Lisa's course, One to Many, is what created my SOS program, because I figured out a new way to deliver a program that didn't require people to just sit on the other side of Zoom and consume things, right? It's about that taught me a new way to do things that fit with my values. It fit with the way that I wanted to do business. It fit with the ways that I felt like were the right thing for me, for my morals, for my values. All of that is also what helped me create the Positive Pants Toolkit, the idea for that. Now, I'm someone who will take my time over things. I like to marinate in stuff, so to speak. And the Positive Pants Toolkit being an app, that was a game changer for me. When I came up with that idea, I was like, wow, actually this is how my clients want to consume things. They don't want to be going into something where they feel like they have to spend an hour every day or things like that. I designed it to be 5 to 10 minutes per day, and I designed it to be there when you need it. So it's about taking the ideas and how to do these things and making it fit you, your business model, your clients, all of these things. It really, really doesn't matter if you already have an established business or you're completely brand new. Like, I genuinely wish I'd had this training before I started my business, because I genuinely might have made some very, very different decisions, and I certainly would have made a lot less mistakes. So I'll be in there too again, because there's always new ways to do things. I'm looking at drop shipping at the moment because I really want to create more products. I'm looking at ways to create my planner. I'm looking at so many different things. It's kind of how I'm thinking all the time. Like, what are some more recurring revenue streams in my business that are going to help me create the life that I really, really love? And that is, for me, peace, ease, flexibility. Things that you can set up and set running and use again and again. That is a big tick in my book. Doing things where you don't actually have to house or create the products. You know, it's set up in the background and people will just buy like they do with my gratitude journal and notebooks and things like that. I'm always thinking about ways to do that, because there are going to be times like, you know, if I have a baby, or if I get ill, or if someone in my family gets ill and I have to look after them, like, I want to be able to do that. And that's a really important thing that I actually went into my business thinking, how do I set it up so that every eventuality is kind of covered? And it's just about having the information that you don't have right now. That's where it becomes easier. It's just, so look at this challenge as, right, let's just get the cogs ticking. Even if I don't choose to do anything about it right now, I just want to start thinking this way, to have that freedom, that flexibility, like real flexibility, right? So I'll be in there too again. You're more than welcome, I did this last year, to hop in my Instagram inbox, which is at I'mFranExcel, and brainstorm with me. It's a little superpower of mine. I flipping love it. I did it with people last year, and I find so much fun coming up with ideas, or like spotting where people might be leaving money on the table. So basically what I'm trying to say is, last week we had the mental stuff. How can you kind of look after yourself when things are getting heavy? And this is the practicalities, because we do need to combine the two, right? So come play with me. The link to join is bit.ly/FranRecurring. So bit.ly/FranRecurring. In my opinion, it really is now more important than ever to have a recurring revenue stream in your business, or even as just a side income to your job, because we have so much less certainty right now. And our brain and our nervous system does not love that. This is a really good way to start calming that down. Even if you're thinking, do you know what, I just really like a side hustle that brings me in like an extra 10, 15K or whatever it is. It's just time to think outside the box, so you can put yourself first, so you can put your family first, so you can put whoever needs to come first. Yeah? So just have a think and come and play with me in the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge. So if you got value from this, and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community, so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when, and choose to change things now, because you can. I'm here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next week. Bye!